Hello, everyone. This is Jasmine Bailey. I am coming back to you, back live here in the living room, the virtual headquarters. We are glad that you have come back just to chill, relax, to hear another great speaker share with you here in the virtual headquarters. So, I'm going to kick off just letting you know sometimes we have guests that a lot of them they don't talk specifically about hair. We have people who are in the hair industry or who have been salon owners and things of that nature. However, what I want you to know is that everything deals with hair. And we also have lives that we want to integrate and we want to bring people in our community that can help you in your everyday life. So, one thing I want to connect why we do what we do here in the community room and here in the living room is that we connect people with areas of your life where you may need coaching, you may need nutrition. Again, all of these things help with the mental, the physical, which ultimately continues to relate to your hair. And it may not be like the straightest line, but it does matter. You matter, and every part of your life matters. So today is like none other. We have a guest. Her name is Amber Bryant, and I want you to give a round of applause in this virtual living room. And then I just want her to come on and welcome everybody.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
hi, my name is Amber Nicole Bryan, and I'm a brand writer and strategist. And thank you so much for inviting me in this community. I know it's very sacred. Anytime it deals with hair, it's a very sacred community. So I'm happy to share my journey with you and a little bit about my life journey. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amber and I actually met in a different community. And I wanted to highlight that because, again, sometimes when you meet different people or go into different communities, you meet people that you would have never met before if you would not have stepped into the community. So we hope that when you come into the living room, you have the opportunity to come across people that you would have never met before because you are now in a different place in a different space. And that actually is what happened with me and Amber. So I'm grateful that our paths cross and I'm grateful that now she gets to share with you what she does. And she is a brand strategist and a resume writer and more than that, all the things. But I want her to share with you why she became um, what she did. So one thing I'm going to start off with, excuse me, is that you are a writer. That's your background in writing. But you were inspired to begin writing branded resumes and other career writing services. So what inspired that to change in your career?
I'd say about 2015, 2016. Um, I began teaching myself how to be a resume writer. So obviously, I was applying for jobs and I wanted to have the perfect resume myself. So I started taking courses, researching on Google, everything I could about resume writing. Really perfected the craft of resume writing for myself. So a lot of my friends, they knew I was doing that. They would look at my resume, oh, it's amazing. So many people would ask me just based on my own personal resume, can you do mine? So it started off with me just kind of helping a little family and friends here and now. And then it became a business in 2018 when my best friend, she called me out the blue one day. She said, hey, I'm sending your first resume clients. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? She said, they're going to be your first paid client. She said, you've been helping us for years now. It is time for you to make this into a business. So literally from two paid clients in the summer of 2018, I started She Writes Brands. It started as She Writes Resumes, and then I added on additional service and named it to She Writes Brand. But it really came from a place of just wanting to help people because I had perfected it. And then I got disheartened from my friends and family who couldn't get jobs, right? So they couldn't find jobs, and I would look at their resume and I'd be like, yeah, I can tell you why you're not getting jobs. So just kind of my own personal skill, it became a business.
That's beautiful. And I've actually personally experienced your style and your craft and how you practice things. And you have a unique style because one thing you said to me is that you want to be in the mindset that your resume tells a story. So you brand people's stories and you bring out the stories that they have in their career path. The reason why this is important, again, is for anyone who's listening, because our hair tells a story. And you know that it takes work and it takes intention, it takes resources. That's why MYAVANA is here to help you be able to connect with the resources and the recommendations that's best for your crown. So with Amber, she allows a person to share their accomplishments. She specifically said to me, and I'm not giving her strategies or everything for free. What I'm saying is that she had me in the mindset of don't just talk from task. That's what typically people do. It's just what you did, but share your accomplishments. Like it was a process where I had to think about it. She didn't just say like, give me your resume, tell me what you did, and I'll make it something new. So I'd like you to share the experience or why it's important to present our career story with confidence and intention. Like again, our hair has a story. We want to be confident and intentional about that. But our career path, our career trajectory has a story to it. Why do we need to do that with confidence and with intention?
I love the fact that you said with confident and intention because I feel like when you have a story, think about stories. We tell ourselves good stories, we tell ourselves bad stories. And it's always when we elevate ourselves with the good stories that we progress in life, that we succeed. So, obviously, if you're searching for a new job or you're trying to get a promotion, you want positive results. So, you need to tell a story of how you are the best candidate for this position, right? And you do that through a process. So, when I work with clients, I don't just take their job duties. I want to know what makes them the best candidate. What accomplishments and achievements do they have that are tailored or in connection with the role they're applying for, right? What value do they bring? So, in addition to the work, what do they do in the community? Are you a community leader? So, I really make my clients think. It's not just me doing all the work. They have to, and you know this from your own process, you have to take days and literally think about all the stuff you've done in your previous jobs, your current job, stuff you've done in the community. Like it's a process for you because only you know your story. Sometimes I think people think resume writers are musicians, that we can just, take your story or your work and just, make something really nice. And some people do that. Hey, but that's not my style. I am very spiritual. So when I write my clients' resumes, I might get a leading from the spirit, and based on that leading, I will let my client know, that, hey, based on that, I feel like we need to focus on this area. I might even tell you, hey, I'm getting led that you need to apply for these type of roles. So it's a very,
Mm,
I would say, spiritual experience. But my ultimate goal is for you to tell your story because everybody has a terrible story. So there's three different types of job seekers. There is the person that is trying to get a job just to pay their bills. So they're not really looking for any particular job, just a job that they can get to pay their bills. So not a particular industry or a career. I need a job. Then you have the career seeker who's been in the same industry for a while. They're looking to, advance in their career, either get a promotion or get into like leadership roles in their position. So they have a different mindset. And then you have what I call the person that's doing this out of passion. So this person either has, been in the career industry for a long time. They've been in leadership roles. Now they're looking to either be an executive CEO or like the highest ranking in their industry, right? But they're
mhm.
doing it more from a place of passion than just conquering the career ladder, right? So those type of clients, it's a different process, but ultimately everybody has to tell me what their story is and why, because
I
that's how we
love
create the resume.
Yes, I was gonna say because when you said process, it would be a cookie cutter approach if you took the person who's paying bills and then the person who's going for passion. If you just said like, okay, tell me what you did and I'll make it something, prettier than or like more functional. So those are two different stories, completely different stories.
Mhm.
And they're telling um, a different outcome for themselves. But to your point, they have to know the outcome that they want to seek. And you're not putting it in their mouth and you're not putting it in their hands so that they can follow something. I love how you said that because again, when you think about, and again, I'm connecting it with hair. When you think about hair, that's what sometimes we've been um, pigeonholed into. Like you should look like this, or your hair type is this, and it's like four hair types, and or there's six ways that you can do things. But there are so many different factors and determining factors that we don't actualize for ourselves. So we kind of look like someone else, and then we're not really sharing and telling our story. So I love how you broke it down, and thank you for sharing the different types of people. And again, the reason why we have this, everyone, is because you may be someone, we do have college students out there. We have people who are career seekers who are in the area and that they need some assistance. So we're going to give connection to Amber, but we want to let you know how it is all relevant because everything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And a lot of times it takes a process, and we want you to understand the process. So, one thing I want you to talk to, you talked about three different type of people who are possibly in careers, but what about people who are entrepreneurs? Do you offer services for them? Or because what my coach called it is an alongsider. So there could be people who are still working their jobs but still have their business. So like again, you helped me in that regard where you gave me options and you gave me the the voice. That's what I would say. You put a voice, and like you said, it was a spiritual part because you brought out things that I didn't even see and recognize. And then when I saw what you provided, I was like, yeah, that is me. But you didn't put the words in my mouth. You just had me write down what I've accomplished and the things that I have had gathered. So, what about those people who are entrepreneurs? How do you help them tell their story?
Yeah. So same process. A lot of entrepreneurs, how I help them, the services are normally LinkedIn profile optimization. So helping them with their LinkedIn profile. And then this is a service that I'm going to bring back. It is not currently listed on my website, but I have done this several times. And that is speaker a one sheet. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a one sheet, but basically a lot of people are doing motivational speaking now, or you're not necessarily speaking for motivation, but you might need to like speak on behalf of your brand. So I create 1 to 2 up to 3 pages of speaker one sheets that help entrepreneurs, right, to kind of promote their brand, right? So it's not like a media kit because a media kit is all encompassing, but
Okay.
a speaker one sheet is for you to book speaking engagements or brand collaboration. So, for instance, what me and you are doing, if someone wanted to get more, interviews up, they would obviously need a speaker one sheet, and it has a little bit of the summary of what a media kit with, but it's more summarized and it's more targeted to them actually getting either paid speaking engagements or non-paid. But basically, that is how I do that, and it's the same process with the story. So whether you are a career seeker or entrepreneur, you have a story, right? I always give this example. My favorite makeup brand is the Lip Bar. I don't know if people heard of it, but I love the Lip Bar. And when the Lip Bar first started, their owner, Melissa used to tell this story about how she was like a makeup minimalist and she only wore like a pop of color because she started off
Mhm.
with just lip glosses. But I remember her like story was so engaging because like I wear makeup. I don't have any on today, but and I wear heavier makeup now. But when I first started, I was like the basics. Like I'm not, like I'm not
Got it.
a makeup girl. I just want the basics. And her
Yes.
story really drew me in. And that is how I chose the lip bar. So when I work with my clients, we need to figure out first off, what is your story? Because your story is going to resonate with a certain type of audience, but only you know your story. And I just love the fierceness of how she was telling her story. Like, listen, I have a makeup brand, but I don't even know how to wear makeup. Like, I mean, she was so honest, and I felt like
Right.
that's me. And that made me draw to her makeup brand versus others because she was so raw and real in her, vulnerability and telling about her story. So I really feel like when I work with entrepreneurs, I try to pull out the same thing, that realness that's going to draw the people that are meant for them to them, their community.
That's beautiful. And I love that you brought up that story. Shout out to the lip bar. Yes, beauty continues to thrive and push through. So you're right. Our work and our calling, it really speaks to who we are and it touches so many different people's lives. So here at MYAVANA, we believe in helping women to awaken to their power and be their best self. So, how would you encourage people to connect with their career story, their entrepreneur journey, to awaken to the power within so that they can be their best self? How would you encourage them?
I would encourage them by them keeping a little tracking journal. Every time you accomplish something in your career, you need to track it. So, whether you get Employee of the Month, if you get tasked by the senior leadership team to do a certain project, like you need to be tracking that. So many times when I work with clients, I'm like, oh, I haven't did anything special. And then, when I start pulling things out of you, like, oh, well, yeah, I won this award, or I've done this, or I was specifically tasked to lead this project. I'm like, those are milestones, those are accomplishments. So you will normally forget those if you don't write them down. So you need to either do it, and you can do it online on Microsoft Word, however you want to do it, write it down, notes in your phone. But you need to do something where you're tracking all of your accomplishment achievements because that's a part of your story, right? We know what you do, like the basic job duties or the services you provide, okay, if you're an entrepreneur, but what sets you apart? Like what value do you bring? Like what are your testimonials, right? And so for a career person, your testimonial value is your accomplishments, your achievements, right? And then for entrepreneur, obviously you'll probably have clients that can, talk about what you've done for them, how you helped them in whatever way. So you always want to keep track of that. Be asking your clients for testimonials. And then if you're in the career industry, write down every time you get something. So when it's time to write your resume, or even if you're not writing a resume, I do professional biographies. If I'm doing a biography for you, you have all the information to give to me and we can pull from that.
Come on, professional biographer. Yes, you are helping people understand that, again, in order to tell your story, you have to be able to track the journey. You can track the highs and the lows too. I only say that because sometimes when we look back where we come from, we can say, like, this is what I overcame and this is what I got through. And that what you help me see is that that is a part of the story too. You don't necessarily have to write that down. What I'm saying is that when we journal or track it, like you're saying, that keeps it in a remembrance. Like when we go back to it, because it's easy to forget, right? When you had me pull things out, it was just like, oh wow, from what I had to prepare and send to you, now it makes it so much clearer why it's important to keep those things and have tracking, because you were able to read it. There's a verse that says, write the vision, make it plain. So track your progress, make it plain. And then Amber was just like, oh, this is what I see, because those who can read it, they can run with it, and you ran with it. So I love that. I really love it. You also have a resume guide that I want you to talk about, because I want people to know, like, they can contact you, and we're going to give you give you the option to contact Amber, but talk about the guide and what it will be beneficial for them and how it will help them in their journey and on their path.
So the guide is going to come out in a couple of months. I'm getting ready for the marketing portion of it. And basically, it's called the Brand Your Resume the Right Way. And right is spelled WRITE, right? It's
Okay.
kind of like a little knockoff off my brand name. She Writes Brand. So this is the method I use to write my client's resume. So I want to teach people how to write resumes. Some of my clients actually, I feel like they could probably write their own resume if they kind of had a little bit more information on how to, like they're pretty good writers themselves. So I want to help people that, hey, like, you know what? Because I believe every resume should be different for every job that you apply for. So you shouldn't use the same resume over and over again. And I have a lot of clients that come to me over and over and over again, which I'm happy for, obviously. And every time they apply for a new role, I have to change their resume. But if you know how to write your own resume, you can do it yourself. So that is why I created the guide, to teach people how to write their own resume. It is going to benefit you because it takes you from the entire process of writing a resume. So from breaking down different resume templates, why you need this template versus this template, giving you examples on resumes I've written. So different examples, like I think there's like 6, 7 or more examples of how to write a resume in the guide, so you can see different styles of resume. I have a resume action verb bank, so you can use different words for your resume. And then just all types of just stuff that's going to help you, like I say, from A to Z on how to write your resume. And then after you finish it, you can actually book a free session with me. That's going to be an option for me to review it and then give you a little tips on how to like fix this, fix that. So
Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Yes,
yeah,
stay
I'm
tuned.
super
Stay tuned.
excited about that. So like I said, I have so many clients that are repeat clients, and I told
Hmm.
one of my clients recently, I said, "You know what? As much as I've helped you, you should be able to write your own resume now." And that person laughed. He said, "You know what? Because of timing, I just let you do it, but I actually think I could based on all the stuff you've taught me and we work together." So for the clients that actually do have the time and feel like, you know what, I can actually write it myself, it's gonna be $47. So and I'm gonna be starting off soon, charging over $100 for just like basic resumes. So I'm like, you can get me half the price and do it yourself,
Wow.
and it'll be the same process that I use on my clients.
That's amazing. So be on the lookout for that. We will have your your contact information in the description box. So, would you provide your social media? How can people get in contact with you, your website, and all the good things?
Yeah, my website is www.shewritesbrands.com, and so is my Instagram handle, and so is She Writes Brands. So you can go on my website, learn more about my services, and you also can go on my Instagram page, follow me there for motivation, just a lot of inspirational content. If you're looking for that, especially in your job search, because that's one of my areas that I really feel like I've been honing on with people. In addition to writing resume, I feel like a lot of people are, feeling like stuck and stagnant in their job search and just need like encouragement in there and like different resources and tools there. So I'm also kind of doing that. So if you need some like tools and resources, the Instagram page is really good for that.
Excellent, excellent. Amber Nicole Bryant, we thank you for coming in the living room today and sharing on the importance of branding your story and just going through the process, having resources, knowing where to obtain the resources. Because again, you connected it with MYAVANA and where we are helping women to awaken to their true self and be their best self and their passion within. So I want to just again offer everyone the thought process of our hair tells a story and your career, it tells a story. How are you going to tell your story and be intentional about telling that story with confidence? So, again, we're going to have Amber's information and connect with Amber. Reach out. If you know someone else, people like it will almost be time for graduation. People who are looking to transfer or to transition into different careers, you just want to prepare yourself. And I think the process specifically, just like the hair analysis process, that's why I always tell people about that. I came in, I was like, what is this process about? But it's so unique to you. That's what we want to do here. We want people to have unique experiences to you. Sometimes we overlook ourselves. So we don't want to do that here anymore. So until next time, we want you to be your best self. You're worthy, you're loved, and you are enough just as you are. And then for everything else, when you need some help, come back to us so that we can introduce you to somebody else. So thank you so much, Amber.
It's a pleasure having me on. I cannot wait to connect with everyone in the community.
Excellent. So have a great one, everybody.